What is going on, guys? I have a quick video for you today. It's about the recent balance changes that happened and my very brief thoughts on them. I don't have a lot of thoughts. I don't disagree with these nerfs, but I want to share just something really interesting I have thought of that I don't think a lot of people are really talking about. It's not something big and deep. Don't worry. It's not like this is going to blow all of Hearthstone wide open. It's just some direction I like that they're taking the game. Before we get into it, I want to remind you guys to like and subscribe. All the support helps immensely. Thank you for the support so far. So let's get into it. Unless you have been living under a rock or just aren't privy to Hearthstone news, there are nerfing 2 cards. And you can read about this on Hearthpwn, Reddit, any content creator's channel. And if you've ended up here first, welcome. But I'm sure this is not the first place you're hearing about this. If you've been on Ladder, I'm sure this is not the first time you're seeing this, or have logged in since early this week, because these changes have already happened. They're changing 2 cards. The first one they are changing is Kael'thas Sunstrider. Now I have the change of the card. This is the current version of the card. The previous version of the card had the same mana, same attack, and same health, but it read every third spell you cast costs 0. This card is not a fun card to play against, and the reason it's getting changed is because it just dominates in Ram Druid. And that being said, I have played games since the nerf has taken place, and Ram Druid still does things. But with 0 mana cards that give you mana, like Lightning Bloom or Innervate, and you can ramp into this very easily with Overgrowth, Wild Growth, or Breath of Dreams, it really allows you to go off with cards like Guardian Animals, which can draw you more cards with Twilight Runner. It can just refill your hand and heal you with Overflow, or it can give all minions in your deck, hand, and field a buff with Survival of the Fittest. This card's just crazy, and I think knocking it down to 1 lessens the amount of time that those miracle, quote-unquote, turns happen, which is good. I still have seen this card on Ladder. I'm not a fan of the deck personally. I think it's very linear. It's pretty easy to understand, and it gets kind of boring because either you high roll and kind of blow your opponent out of the water, or you just brick and you don't do anything with the game. I think that style of gameplay is they're trying to dissuade that. And I think this is a good change. I think there's going to be conversation about the design space that this card allows in the future, but we'll see as we get into the rest of the meta and the rest of the year that it's in Hearthstone. It will be in Hearthstone. He will be in Hearthstone till April 2021. So we have to stay around with this card for a while, so we'll see how this card changes, or if it does change during its life in Hearthstone. The second card is Mindrender Illucia. This card was changed from a 2-mana minion to a 3-mana minion. I was really excited about this card when I saw it. It's a disruptive card. It's a control card that disrupts opponent's game plan. And ideally, and I think in like most people's minds, that this card worked as a combo disruptor. When in reality, when it was at 2 mana, and probably still at 3, it has a lot of power, but coming down at 2 mana, on curve, you can disrupt aggro if they're on the coin. You can take away one of their turns just by giving them your hand. Against control, you disrupt their game plan. This card was just really powerful at disrupting at 2 mana. And it even happened against me. I was playing Miracle Rogue to Legend, and I had Edwin, Questing Adventurer, Coin, Wand, Thief, and Prep in my hand, and they just stole my hand and then went off and disrupted my whole combo, and I got a little tilted and lost that game. But I think this is a good change. I think it comes down a little slower. I think if you're aggro, you can now use Coin to kind of build a board against this, and I'm kind of happy that this has been changed. But that gets me into my main points, and my main point is that these are not changes for balance sake. And what I mean by that is I think the meta is in a really good place. Every deck seems either strong enough to compete with each other, or every deck can be beaten. And what I mean by that is Ram Druid, it's fallen out of tier 1. It can be beaten. You just have to deal with their threats as they come. They have very limited threats. Pure Paladin, just keep their things off board. You can deal with them. Rogue, Bomb Warrior are tier 1, but they can still be beaten. Every deck has a weakness. So I don't really feel that these are changes because Priest and Druid are too strong. I feel like they're changes to make the game feel more fun and less bad for the person being on the receiving end of Kael'thas or Mindrender Illucia. So those are really my thoughts, and I really like that they're balancing the game this way, not just around strength, but around how fun the game is. Like, if this game stopped being fun, why would I keep playing, right? And changing it so it feels less bad when something happens, I think is a good way to go. And I think it's a smart way to go. I do expect to see some balance changes. There are some cards I would change. I'm not going to get into them in this video. But this is not a balance change because something's strong. This is a balance change for card feel, and I love that. I think that's a really good way to balance an online game. So that's it, guys. Those are my quick thoughts. Balancing for feel rather than strength is really smart. Hope they keep doing it, but still keep an eye on cards that are too strong. So with that, guys, I will see you in the next one. Not sure what it's going to be yet. Maybe some Battlegrounds, but we'll see. Guys, I will see you later. Remember to like and subscribe, and stay awesome. See ya.